Hey, what's up? Hello, my name is Ashley, and if you do not know me and it's your first time here, welcome. And if you are returning, thank you. Thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate you. I really do. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a May reading wrap-up. That's what it's called, a May reading wrap-up. I was able to read 12 books this month. Can we please just get a round of applause for that? I am incredibly proud of myself. This is actually I read the most in the month of March. I read 14 books in March, so I was just 2 books off, but that's totally okay because I was able to read 12 books this month. A lot of people don't have time to read 12 books in a month, let alone even one, so I'm just grateful that I was able to read 12 books this month. Okay, I keep looking at myself in the viewfinder because I don't know, I just think I look good today. Oh, you gotta flirt with yourself sometimes. You got to. Well, let's just hop into this video, shall we? We shall. So the first book that I read this month was none other than A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Everybody and their mama have read this book except for me. Like, I haven't even finished the series. I only read A Court of Thorns and Roses. But I do have the rest of the series right here. Oh. Do have the rest of the series right there. And I'm actually really excited to read the whole series. So let me just tell you what the premise of this book is about. Alright, so our FMC Feyre, she is a huntress and she went out to go and catch a little snacky snack for her family. While she's out in the woods, she ends up killing this like huge wolf looking thing. And then next thing you know, whenever she goes back home, something just comes knocking on the door. Actually, they don't actually like knock on the door, they actually just like bust through the door. It's this large beast looking thing, and he's like, "You killed a fairy!" And Feyre was like, "Girl, no I didn't." And then he was like, "Yes you did, it was a wolf." And she was like, "Oh, yes, I definitely did do that." And then he was like, "Okay, so you come with me right now or I kill you right here." She was like, "Oh, okay, I'll just come with you because I don't want to be slayed in front of my family, you know?" So yeah, that's what happens. And she was taken to the fairy realm of Prythian. While she's in Prythian, she's trying to navigate her new life, deadly politics, magical creatures, and then on top of that, trying to break a curse. Like, this girl just cannot catch a break, like, at all. I rated this book 4 stars. I think it was a solid start to the series, and I'm really excited to see where the rest of the series goes. And also, I think I just really love fairy men. I can't wait to finish the series. Okay, the next book that I read this month was Gothiconic. The next book that I read this month was Gothicana by Runex. First of all, can we just say the book is just so pretty, like the purple sprayed edges, and then when you open it, like, hello? That was like the main reason why I bought this book, because of how pretty it was. Our FMC Carvina gets this full scholarship to this very creepy and spooky university in the mountains called Varenmore. At this university, she meets this professor named Vad, which, to describe how he looks, I can only describe him as a hotter, less greasier version of Snape from Harry Potter. I don't know why, but that's just what I think when I think of Vad. Oh, and he also has like a gray streak in his hair. And he's like, I don't know what, like 27, 26, 27, 28, something like that. Anyways, creepy and like really eerie and creepy things start happening at this university, and Carvina is trying to like uncover all the dark secrets while also dealing with her growing attraction towards her professor. Yeah, people said that the vibes of this book is low-key giving off like the Netflix show Wednesday vibes, and I can actually understand where they're coming from with that statement. This book is like a student professor dark gothic romance, dark academia, whatever the If you are going to read this book, please look up trigger warnings. Your mental health matters, okay? Please, I implore you to look up trigger warnings if you want to get into this book. I picked up this book because it's very pretty, very, very pretty. But the contents inside this book aren't as pretty. I rated this book a 3 stars. I kind of found this book a little bit odd, and it also left me with a whole bunch of questions at the end with no answers to any of them at all. And also, I just felt like this was very insta-love and lusty, and I honestly could not take the coupling of these two seriously at all. Oh, and also, this girl has purple eyes. The next book that I read was The Last Word by Taylor Adams. Our FMC Emma leaves this terrible negative review on this horror novel that she read. And it also turns out her review was the only review for that novel. Since it's the only review for that novel, the author obviously sees it, and he decides to reach out to Emma, and he's all like,
I spent so much time into this novel, and you are messing with my livelihood. Take this review down now.
Emma was like, no. And they just go back and forth and back and forth and back. Now all of a sudden, Emma is like trapped in this cat and mouse game because the author is stalking her. What a trip, bro. Let me tell you, I was reading this book in my room in the dark, and I had to go into the living room and turn on all the lights just to finish this book because I was so creeped out. My timbers were indeed shivered. Also, there is a dog in this book, and when I tell you, when I found out that there was a dog in this thriller, I was about to cry because I was like, if something happens to this dog, I just might jump. I just might jump. Honestly, I loved the premise of this book, and it was wildly entertaining. It also had a decent pace throughout the book. I finished this in one sitting. I also read this one review on Goodreads. Actually, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I found it. I'm gonna put it like on the screen. It says, first things first, take your disbelief, bundle it up, open the nearest door/window to you, and yeet it. I advise you to take that advice, because if you think too hard at it, yes, it is unrealistic, but it's really entertaining. I rated this book 4 stars, and also make sure that you look up trigger warnings for this book as well. The next book I read this month was Mr. Wrong Number by Lynn Painter. My skin looks so good. My skin looks so good. So our main character, Olivia, is just down on her luck. She is like a living, breathing hot mess for real. No, but like same. She's just like me for real. So anyway, she accidentally burns down her apartment. Yeah, she accidentally burns down her apartment and now has to go and move in with her brother. Also, the thing about her brother, he doesn't live by himself. He has a roommate, which is also his like best friend named Colin. Colin and Olivia literally cannot be in the same room without bickering back and forth. Like, they can never find peace. It's never peaceful when they're in the same room. So one day, Olivia's just minding her business and she gets this random text and it's all like,
What are you wearing?
now if it was me, I wouldn't be answering any text like that because I would feel like I was being hunted down like Emma in The Last Word. But Olivia was all like, girl, I wouldn't be doing no stuff like that. But anyways, but little does she know, Mr. Wrong Number is Colin, aka her brother's best friend, aka her accidental roommate. I gave this book 4 stars. I honestly could not put it down once I picked it up. It has enemies to lovers. It had me audibly laughing out loud at some parts. And Colin is just chef's kiss. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. The next book I read was Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. This was my first 5-star of the month. I absolutely loved this book. So our main character, Liz, is a senior in high school who is obsessed with rom-coms and basically want her life to mimic the rom-coms that she watches. So when her childhood crush moves back into town and starts attending the school that she's attending to, she wants to make her little rom-com dreams come true.
I found this on the web.
What are you talking to me? So she enlists her childhood nemesis, Wes, I love Wes, to help her win over her childhood crush. And throughout all of this, Liz starts to realize that real life love and romance is way better than anything she's ever seen in any of her silly little rom-coms. I gave this book 5 stars and I loved it so much with everything in me. I could not put it down once I started. I just thought it was so freaking cute. It has enemies to lovers and fake dating, which are both some of my top favorite tropes ever. And Wes is just so cute. Everybody needs a Wes. I was so sad when this book ended because I did not want it to end, and I really want to read the rest of the books in the series as well. It's something about Lynn Painter's YA romance books that just hit different. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what Lynn Painter puts in these books, but I will eat it up every single time, no questions asked. Lynn Painter never misses. Lynn Painter supremacy. I love that woman. So the next book I read was Reggie and Delilah's Year of Falling by Elise Bryant. So Reggie is a D&D playing nerd. Or as it says in the blurb, Reggie is a D&D dungeon master and self-declared blurred, which I guess means black nerd. And Delilah is very shy, but she is also the lead singer of her friend's band. Somehow, they both keep meeting by chance on holidays. So they had first initially met on New Year's, and then they met again on Valentine's Day, and then they met again on St. Patrick's Day, and it just kept going and going and going. Delilah really admires Reggie because of his I don't care what anybody thinks attitude, and she wishes that she could be more like that because she cares what everybody thinks. But guess what? Reggie is not as confident as he is leading Delilah to think. So as they gradually start to fall for each other, Delilah is falling for the illusion of Reggie rather than the real Reggie behind the facade. I rated this book 4 stars, and I had this book for a while before I even considered picking it up and reading it, and I don't know why it took me so long because this book is so good. I related to Delilah so much in this book. It's absolutely insane. Like, literally, I'm Delilah, Delilah is me. Like, we're the same person. Like, it's me. That's me. And this isn't just your typical YA romance. This book tackles themes of racism so well, and there were some quotes that really like resonated to me, especially when I think back to when I was in high school. And don't get me wrong, I love being black. I'm proud of being black. But my whole life, I've had people telling me I'm not really black so much that I doubt it all the time. And honestly, that just kind of like hit me in the gut because I've been told that I am not black literally my whole life while I was in school. Like, I don't talk the way I'm supposed to talk. I don't dress the way I'm supposed to dress. I don't listen to the music I'm supposed to be listening to. Like, it all just made things, I don't know how to like put it in words, but like, it just really did not make me feel good about myself. I really like this book. It handled themes of racism, microaggressions, everything so well. I encourage you to read it. It's so good. Now, the next 3 books that I'm going to show you, I'm not going to go in as much detail about them because I went into full detail about them in my last video, which I will put in the iCard, which is right here, I think. So if you want to hear my in-depth thoughts about these books, just go and watch my last video and there you go. So the next book I read was Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. Casey McQuiston. Is that how you pronounce it? I'm terrible with names. The son of the president and his arch nemesis, Prince Henry of England, have to fake a friendship because of a PR disaster. And as they get to know each other and start hanging around one another more, you know, sparks start to fly. Oh my god, what's that one song by Miranda Cosgrove? Sparks fly. It's like electricity. I might. I love Miranda. I still need to finish the new iCarly. I still need to finish that. Anyways, this is my second 5-star read of the month. I absolutely love this book with everything in me. It has enemies to lovers, fake friends, and just oh my gosh. I love this book with everything in me. Their banter is unmatched. And honestly, I would go as far as to say that this is one of the best romance novels that I've ever read. I said it. Sue me. Don't. My channel, my rules. The next book I read was on my Kindle, and it was called She Drives Me Crazy by Kelly Quinlan. This story is about two high school girls, Scotty, a basketball player, and Irene, a cheerleader. They get into a little car accident in the school parking lot, and now they are forced to carpool together. Scotty wants to make her ex-girlfriend jealous, so her and Irene end up fake dating, and you know, that kind of just like brings up real feelings. I gave this book 4 stars. I recommend that you read this book. It's really cute, really short. I think it's like 200 something pages. Really short read. Read it in one sitting. Absolutely loved it. So the next book I actually listened to on Audible, it was The Idea of You by Robin Lee. Safe to say I did not really enjoy this book that much. This book is about 39-year-old Celine. She takes her daughter to go meet her favorite band, August Moon. While at the concert, she sparks up a little something with one of the members, 20-year-old Hayes Campbell, and then they just end up starting to canoodle and mess around. So yeah, I said my piece in my last video. If you care to know what I said, go and watch it in the iCard. But I gave this book 2 stars. That is all. Next book I read was If Cats Disappeared from the World by, I really don't want to butcher this man's name, so here it is.
Janki Kawamura.
Got it? Got it. I don't want to butcher this man's name. This book is about a terminally ill postman who makes a deal with the devil to extend his life by 1 day for each thing that he erases from the world. I rated this book 4 stars. I finished it while I was at my mom's job, and I had to stop myself from tearing up because it just got me. It just got me. It's a very short book. It's less than 200 pages. It's 168 pages, very short book. You can read this in one sitting. I highly recommend this book if you want to cry. If you want to cry, pick up this book. It's really good. Also, I've just really been into Japanese literature lately, and I want to get into more of it. So if any of you guys know any Japanese literature that you guys like, just let me know. Just let me know and I'll read it. Next book I read on my Kindle, and it was My Life with the Walter Boys. So the main character, Jackie, is very meticulous, and she's a very organized person. Suddenly, she finds herself living with 11 crazy, rowdy boys who love to pull pranks and just be crazy. The Walter Boys, as it says in the title. I gave this book 3 stars. This book does involve a love triangle, and in the blurb I don't think it says who's in the love triangle, so I'm not gonna say, but in the book I literally could not root for anybody in the love triangle. I really could not root for anybody. I honestly found them kind of annoying.
I never found you funny. I never found you entertaining. I never found you smart. I just found you annoying.
This book had a strong start and I loved the concept, but I feel like this book could have done without the love triangle, honestly, because I just found it really annoying and it got on my nerves a lot. I did start watching the show on Netflix, and I actually really am liking it so far. As for who I am rooting for, I know who I'm rooting for, honestly. Shoot, but I can't say it because I don't want to spoil. If you think you know who I'm rooting for, you're probably wrong. Or maybe you're right. I don't know. I like nerdy boys. Anyways, that's all I'm gonna say. And the last book that I read this month, I actually listened to it on Audible, and it was Hooked by Emily McIntyre. So this book is a twisted version of Peter Pan. It's actually a series. So basically the series is like a twisted version of like different fairy tales where the villain gets the girl in the end. Hooked is a Peter Pan twisted version. What? So it involves James Hook, period. He's only got one mission: to take down Peter, who is a shady businessman. Enter in Wendy, Peter's daughter. And Hook's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna use her to get to Peter. And later down the line in the story, he's like, whoops, I caught feelings. Wendy, throughout all of this, is just thinking in her head, like, why is this fine dude, what does he want to do with me? Why does he want me? Like, out of everybody, why me? So Hook is trying to navigate his desire of revenge towards her dad, while also not trying to get distracted by her because he fell for her. I gave this book 2 stars because honestly, I'm gonna be so for real, I really didn't like James. I know it's supposed to be a dark romance and he's like a villain and all, but like you would think that he would be a little bit likable. Like if he's gonna get the girl in the end, you would think that he would be like a little bit likable. Also, I just don't think that I am much of a dark romance girly. I mean, I'll keep trying, but I've already tried like 3 dark romance books already and I have not been feeling any of them. Maybe I just have been choosing the wrong ones, but the ones that I've read, I don't really like them that much. So either I'm not a dark romance girly or I'm just picking the wrong ones, but I don't know. So those were the 12 books that I read this month. I honestly feel like I had a pretty good reading month besides like a couple, but most of my books were 4 stars and I had like 2 5-stars this month, and I feel like that's pretty good. If you have any book recommendations that you would like for me to read, please leave them in the comments down below. I love to read new genres and I think I need to branch out a little bit more. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe and share this with your friends or family, or don't. That's completely fine. I totally respect your decision. Alright, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!